I have a little like 2-minute video I want to play
All right.
as people pile in. How's everybody doing today? How was everyone's October? You know, it'd be cool, Jeremy. Let's have the beard. Glad October's over. Yeah, it was choppy. But guess what? I think we still got a little choppiness ahead of us. Got body slammed. Yep. So guys, give us 3 or 4 words to describe your October. Some of us did fairly well. Some of us got beat up and feel like we got tarred and feathered. But give us 3 or 4 words that describe your trading. I would say, Jeremy, what would you say for your trading?
3 or 4 words that described my trading for the month of October. I would say arduously fantastic challenge.
So, roller coaster ride, exciting, awesome, brutal, awesome, then horrible, Bloody Mary, meh. Any clothes in the red family? Up but down, red. Yep. What else? Roller coaster ride, very roller coastery, the hard way. I would say, believe it or not, I would say extraordinarily boring for me. Because I only took 7 trades. All right, I closed 7 trades. I took more, but only 7. 30.7 R on 7 trades. All right, so I'm going to try to share my screen here and play this video. I know there's an extra button to share computer sound. Is that how that works, Jeremy?
Yeah. So when you click share screen, it should say share computer sound, the top left-hand screen.
Yep. Got it. Okay. Let's try this again. Share computer sound. You guys see my screen? Should see a black
YouTube channel.
All right, guys, I'm gonna pay just a minute or two. This might be relevant for how you guys are feeling, kind of the mood, kind of how the overall feeling of October. Let's see if you guys can hear it.
Yep, can hear it.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test was 9 dots. And you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams.
All right, that's a little part I wanted to play. Have you guys seen that video before? It's so inspiring. In the mornings, I like to do some kind of crazy exercise. Lately, I've been just walking and running, and I always have some kind of inspirational something in my ear. It's usually like a David Goggins, kind of gritty, work through it, pick yourself up and keep going kind of a thing, or Ed Milet or Jesse Itzler, any of those 3. And so I kind of wrote about this the other day, but if you guys can start your day with something just super inspiring, like put away the social media, let's get, tie, lace up the sneakers and get out, get a run. If you're biking, whatever, you do something to kind of get a good jump start on your day. And then listen to something like this that just inspires you, that, keeps you going. I know October is tough for a lot of people. I was kind of looking through kind of how things have, we have some people that are obviously not posting. We had some good results. We got people who don't post because it wasn't pretty, and maybe they're afraid to kind of post how they did. But overall, I just want to encourage you guys to kind of think about the big picture. Kind of what Denzel was talking about here was just trying to think about, it's not always about right now, today, it's about the future. And perspective is a superpower. Do you guys believe that? Right. So Danny, -100R. Yep. Tough, bro. Tough. We all learn. We've all had those. Hopefully, was that -100R? Was that one trade, or is that a collective? Oh, you told me about that, I believe. Yeah. But guys, just think about it. October is over. Trading markets close. It's over. But guess what? Market will be open again in November. We have another opportunity to get after it, right? To do what we love to do. So I want to see, where are my closet swing traders? Let's put a CST there in the chat pane. Closet swing traders, make some noise. For those of you who don't know what a closet swing trader is, how would you describe, guys, Jeremy, how would you describe a closet swing trader?
My description of a closet swing trader would be someone who thinks the only and best way to make money would be day trading, and they have not tried to own companies or trade stocks over multiple periods of days and to let it sit back and let it do its thing.
So they're kind of swing traders, but just don't know it yet, right?
Yep.
They're closet swing traders. Yep. Cool. So you guys ready to talk about the markets? Let's take a look. Take a look at SPY. I know it's not going to be pretty. So the one thing I did notice on SPY is, you guys know that it did make a lower low here, but it actually did not close. Like each of these 3 days, it did not quite close below the previous low. So that tells me that the bulls are fighting back quite a bit. We'll see what happens going forward. I don't know about you, Jeremy, but I'm kind of predicting some more of this for probably a couple weeks, and then maybe take a new kind of bounce off and kind of continue higher. But no matter who is elected into the U.S. Election, no matter who makes it into the White House, there's going to be some chop, I think, regardless. And the losing party on Tuesday will probably contest it, and it'll probably drag out for a couple weeks, right? And then we'll have some answer one way or another. And at the end of the day, the market really does not like the unknown. It doesn't like the risk of not knowing who's going to be kind of filling that seat come January. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, Jeremy. Does that sound about like what your thoughts are?
Yeah, at least at this particular point in time, a lot of the analysis that I have, I kind of view it on a bigger picture time frame. If you want to go to like a monthly chart, because we have to remember, and I know it sounds crazy, but we went to cash on September 2nd, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is only the end of October, so we have 2 months where we had some selling, and this had to be known that this was going to occur. It had to be. So we are in, and as of today, as we got some drops, I'm definitely about 40% into the market now. So I do have some cash, but I'm about 40% in with this drop, and then I'm going to wait for the rest into what comes to what comes to fruition. But big picture, yes, possible double top, absolutely a little bit of a chop. I do think we're going to get a little bit of a drop lower, and whatever drop lower that we get, I do think we're going to bounce historically, right? We're not going to repeat COVID, because it's already happened. We've already experienced it. We've already lived it. Everyone knows what to expect. So whatever big picture drop we get will be viable. And if you're doing put sales, if you are doing bullish strategies, you're going to be losing. You're going to be down. You're going to have negative in your account. But understand that bull trades will win over the longer term. This is not the all-time high of the market. This is just simply a nice, normal, absolutely planned correction that's occurring.
And again, if you have the right perspective, on the grand scheme of the stock market, look, we're down just a little. It's really nothing on the grand scheme of things, right? I have a long enough time horizon. I think where we all get ourselves in trouble is when we stare at that P&L. Now, how many of you guys have spent time in high school or college playing sports, whether it's basketball, football, or lacrosse, rugby? How many of you guys played sports? What do you guys play?
I played football terribly.
I thought you played golf, Jeremy. You're an amazing golfer.
Oh man. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Tennis, volleyball, soccer. Yeah. So guys, how many of you played, how many of you guys were on the field, right? The coach put you in, you're on the field and you're doing nothing but staring at the scoreboard, right? The ball's being passed around, activities happening all around you. You're staring at the scoreboard. Now, why am I bringing this up? How many of you guys do that same thing when it comes to your P&L? You just stare at it and you just freeze. Now, a lot of you guys who have open swing trades, when you started today, you saw a big red number just before the market opened, and maybe you're trying to snap yourself out of it and take some day trades, and maybe you dig yourself a little bit deeper hole. But all that to say, guys, if the P&L is a blocker or it's a hindrance, put a little Post-it note over it on your computer, close the little gadget, whatever you need to do so you're not staring at that and that's not a distraction. At the end of the day, I always feel like we as traders try, especially new traders, us who've been around for a couple of years know the routine, but I always feel like us, the brand new traders, are constantly chasing success, right? They're chasing, I got to make money. I got to make money. I got to make money today. And sometimes the market doesn't give you the opportunity, right? And you feel like, oh, I got to make it up tomorrow and you got to make twice as many R's to get back to where I need to be. But I feel like if we could stop chasing success and start chasing excellence in our trading plans, and I'm talking about like an extreme accountability of how well we execute our plan, right? So imagine if you have a trading plan and you're given an A+ or an F. You either did it exactly or you didn't, like extreme, and you didn't pay attention to your P&L. I'm wondering if going into November, whether it's choppy or not, we know it probably will be for a couple of weeks. I'm wondering if that can be a huge difference maker in our trading. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it has to, because the challenge that I work with and the hurdles that many traders overcome, ladies and gentlemen, are oftentimes the ones where they go, and let me know if I'm talking to anyone out there. I'm mostly talking to myself. This is purely me. But if I go, man, if I had only done this trade, because I planned to do this trade, if I'd only execute on this one trade, I would have X amount more. Or I really thought that this was going to happen, but I didn't because I was scared. And if I had, it would have all worked out, but I didn't because I was afraid, right? If we let fear prevent us from taking a trade, guess what? That's an F in your plan. Yep. If you had the plan trade, if you had the trade planned and you saw it and you dictated it and you wrote it down and you thought it through and you said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, then I am going to do X, Y, Z, and you don't do X, Y, Z because you're afraid of losing money, you get an F.
And how, guys, think about that for a minute. If you either execute the plan exactly or you don't, it's like a binary outcome, a 0 or 1, a pass or a fail. How would that, I want to hear from you guys in the chat, and how would that affect your trading? How well, if you don't focus on just the P&L, right? Like my analogy of being on the field, ready to play, and you're just staring at the scoreboard. As you guys know, the scoreboard is historical. It's happened, it's done. There's nothing you can do to change it except move forward and try to, change the score, get some wins, minimize the points the dollars, R's you give back, right? And I was having this conversation yesterday with one of our traders. I randomly call traders all the time and just talk about life, usually life more than trading. And a lot of times our biggest problem with trading is not actually trading. It's not even the trading plan. It's the discipline, right? It's like following through, doing what we need to do. I tell my teenagers when they're younger, I said, discipline is doing what you're supposed to without having to be told, right? Like in the family setting, it's obviously cleaning your room, it's doing your chores, it's doing what you're supposed to without being told. And I'm wondering if we bring that into our trading, could that be a huge difference maker, right? Maybe it's a little uncomfortable to adjust and get on in this groove, but I'm wondering if we can have an amazing, amazing 2021 if we're all rowing in the same direction. If we're all like our thoughts and what we're doing are all aligned, and we're making some enormous, massive headway. So I want to teach you guys a term, one of my favorite terms. It's a weird term, and I'm going to type it out here, and I want someone to look it up and type it in the chat pane. Okay, you ready? You guys ready? It's a weird spelling, so let me copy and paste it over here. Ready, Jeremy? We're going to talk about, this is going to relate cognitive dissonance. Somebody look it up, not Jeremy. Someone look it up. Tell me what that means. Google it real quick and put the answer in the chat pane. Have you guys heard that before? It's a weird term, and it doesn't actually, like, you have to really think about the words. Inconsistent thoughts, the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, right? As it relates to behavioral decisions and attitude change. Now think about this, guys. Let's say that we all want to be full-time traders, right? But our actions don't line up with what we say we want. Like, there's this disconnect, right, going on between what we say we want and what we actually want. We say we want to be full-time traders, but yet we treat it like a hobby. We say we manage risk, but yet we let things get out of control, right? We say we're disciplined, but we let the plan kind of fall apart. We say that we're mentally, tough and strong, but yet a little bit of red scares us out of all our positions, and we miss out on big R's, right? You guys see how this cognitive dissonance, this disconnect, right, between what we say and what we do. I think this could be a huge difference maker for us in our trading going forward. Are you guys feeling, you see where I'm going with this? I think we have amazing traders. We have amazing strategies. We can teach you strategies all day, every day, but if you don't execute on them, it would be just another class, right? Yesterday, we talked for 3 hours about trading puts and selling put option. We could have a 20-hour class, but if we're not putting certain things in action, taking action. Now, Jeremy, here's a funny thing. This is the second time I've taught this class, and the very next day and weeks, it's a pretty big sell-off. It's kind of like that Newsom.
Dude, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Let me talk about that for a second. So guys, the last time my boy Matt DeLong teaches a put sale class was right
October 2018.
Yep. October 2018, when the market was just plummeting. Yep. And when you sell puts, there is nothing more red than a put sale when the market is dropping. I mean, oh my goodness. It's not even like having calls or shares. It's just,
right here.
Yeah, like you taught it. I know when you taught it. It was the very, very first week of October. Because I was in the hospital, ironically enough.
Somewhere like right in here, and we went like this.
Yeah, and so the thing is, and Matt has told you the story. Many traders know the story, but in general, there was a lot of people that got scared out of trades down here because they were afraid of losing money. They were afraid that, oh, this is a negative number. It's not going to recover. I'm not going to make money this month. That's the piece that's really hurtful, is if you try to make money this month by selling put sales or by doing whatever, and you don't think that the stock can get down to your price, and it does, and you sold a put here, and then the stock is down here, but you close it because you wanted to make money that week. If you sold those puts and then you don't get put to shares at a low level and you're definitely losing money, you're absolutely negative down here, and then this happens, you got to feel like a giant dodo bird. And the same thing has happened to me before in the past. A lot of that exact description happened in March, and Pablo knows, right? A lot of traders who were here in March, I said the exact same thing we're saying now. Guys, this is going to bounce. Give it some time. Do not panic sell. Do not panic exit. Do not panic exit. If you panic exit, it will bite you. And,
right. And you added a rule, didn't you, Jeremy, that says that you can only, or I think you posted it somewhere, where you can only exit on an up day, not a down day, where you're scared, like you want to exit real quick because the fear is kind of getting in, right?
Yep.
You can only exit on an up day.
So yeah, the down day, like if you're terrified because the market's dropping, keep in mind, and Matt's going to talk about today, the Momo strategy does work on down days, right? It's a 78-minute chart. So if you get some selling, you can go short. You can have a plan that says, I'll have this many short trades and this many long trades, or I have 0 long trades and 1 bear trade, or I have 5 bull trades and 1 bear trade. My account, ladies and gentlemen, today, so that you guys know, I'll talk real numbers. across all my accounts, I'm down $100,000 today, right? I'm not really freaking out about it because those are profits that just simply weren't cashed in yet. Okay. I mean, all of you guys know I'm trading well over millions of dollars. So when you get that type of drop, it's house money. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's terrifying, but it's like, well, if this thing goes lower, I'm going to be losing money. That's just, I didn't sell it when it was higher. It's still potentially profitable. I'm not going to worry about it. Give it some time, give it a break, let it be, and be patient about it.
So how many of you guys put an uppercase J in the chat pane? How many of you guys actually work a full-time job and you don't necessarily need the money, from trading right now? It's a side hustle. You're trying to build it up, right? You're trying to get some extra, income, work towards that. Yeah. So for all of these who have uppercase J, why are you stressing so much about trading on a single day? Think about that for a minute. Let's visit this, right? Like worst case scenario, the best thing to do when you're afraid of something is visit it and plan a trip and hang out with it for a little bit. So if you're scared of swimming with the sharks, best thing to do over that is what? To swim with some sharks. Now, for those of you who have the full-time job, do you feel that you have to have trading income realized every single day, or life will just end as we know it, right? No, you don't. Now, is what you're saying and what you're doing aligned though? Do you have that cognitive dissonance going on where there's a disconnect where I don't need the money, but I'm trying to force things to happen and I'm digging a deeper hole for myself? I'm kind of maybe revenge trading. I'm trying to come back, right? Yeah, and most of you, I get it. Maybe you enjoy your job. You want to keep the job. You want to trade on the side. I get it. Maybe some of you hate your job and you want to trade full time. I get that too. I'll just tell you guys the past 3 months, I've sat in front of the computer the least amount of time for the past 3 months because I've been out of town a lot, and very, very boring. At the beginning of this recording, I said 2 words: extraordinarily boring. That's how I would describe my October. I'm up almost 31 hours on just 7 trades. That's it, 7 trades. And I just sat and let them work. Now, yes, of course, there are some secrets on how to do this. Of course, if you have some unrealized R's and you roll them into the next month, you kind of let them, you don't cash them out in the current month, you let them go. Of course, that's going to set you up and tee up success going into the future, into the next month. And in all of our cases, we probably have some unrealized losses rolling into the next month, but it's okay. I'm not gonna stress about that. So I feel like we've covered a whole bunch of material, guys. Don't you, Jeremy? In the last week, like we talked about the 10 EMA strategy, right? We talked about, let me switch to something like a Shopify. So we talked about the 10 EMA strategy, right? Where you kind of buy. In this case, obviously it didn't work out, but lots of opportunities that it could have worked out. So this is what we refer to as the 10 EMA strategy, where we're waiting for it to close below and then kind of close above on the next candle. That's the 10 EMA. And then what else? Right after that, guys, we talked last week about what? What did we talk about? We talked about the Momo strategy. Have you guys have traded or played with the Momo strategy? The Momo strategy is oops. Let's close this. Oops. I need to get rid of that because that annoys me. Boom. Okay, so the Momo strategy, right? Obviously, in this case, Momo works fairly well in bullish or bearish conditions. In our example, we're looking at Shopify. So if we were to go back in time, this is a free indicator, guys. If someone has the indicator, go ahead and post the link for the indicator, Jeremy. Maybe somebody can grab that. And I want to get a volunteer out of the audience here in just a minute. And someone who's been playing with Momo, get his or her thoughts on how it's going. Obviously, we just kind of talked about it literally a week ago today, and it doesn't always work out textbook perfect, but in our case, Shopify, the indicator right here tells us to go long at the close of this candle. So we got long about right here, trading the strategy, and we just kind of let it roll. Let's see what happens. So ladies and gentlemen, if we were to buy at the close right here, maybe, and we do have this exclamation point. Jeremy, do you remember what that designates? We didn't talk about it in the class, but people
We did
asked.
not. I don't remember.
Okay, so that just means it is a gap up with a fade. In this case, it's just a tiny gap up and a fade. So why does that matter? Well, if you're using call options and you have a gap up and it fades, and then you close the candle, you know that the IV is going to be a little more relaxed, right? It's going to be a little, when you're buying time, when you're buying call options directionally, the IV will be a little bit more relaxed in that situation. So in this case, we gapped, I don't know if you can call that a gap, a few pennies, right? And so in the way that the strategy works is this green shaded area here and here, you guys can see. And the green shaded area, it means we're bullish, right? And we got in at the close right here where this blue line is, and we just stuck with it until it, actually in this case, we are now rolling into October, right? So the idea is get in before a big trend happens and you just ride it higher. Just like I use the analogy of surfing, where you need to kind of wait for the waves to kind of look at like they're shaping up. You start paddling out, you get enough speed, you hop up on the feet and you ride the wave, and you ride the wave as long as we're still green, right? Guys, we're all still green, and we ride the wave until it tells us to get out. Right? Pretty basic. So now, guys, if we spent, let's say, Jeremy, right here, we spend, I don't know, $5,000 for one contract, just as an example. We can go back and look at the exact pricing at that exact point in time. But let's say we spent $5,000. What kind of profit do you think, what kind of a gander would you think we'd be up right now? Let's say we bought it maybe a little bit out of the money, maybe like a 950.
Yeah. I mean, if you spent $5,000 on the option, I mean, it'd be up at least $6,000.
Yeah. I would say 5 to 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, guys, these are some strategies that we just give to the community. These are classes that we teach. And I want to talk in a minute about one thing I'd like to do slightly differently. But again, guys, would we still be in the trade? Now, at any point you can exit and take your win. Now, the thing about trend following, about the momentum, is you kind of start late and you kind of overstay your welcome a little bit, right? That's typically how that works. Is kind of, you're late to the party and you stay late. And so you're late to the party because the trend has to shape up, and then you kind of get in, and it's already kind of moving when you jump in. The wave's already kind of moving. You don't really jump in right at the very beginning, right? But the exact opposite is true at the end, where you're exiting, you're kind of hanging out longer than maybe you should. And, anywhere along here, you can obviously take out, exit for a nice gain. No one's going to complain if you exit for a nice gain. Now, the other thing that's really cool is you'll see that our moving averages here are about to cross when I don't draw on top of them. So the green line represents our 8 EMA, and we're looking at a 78-minute chart. The red, what did I do? Somehow I add, my standard deviation test. So the red line represents a 21 EMA. And again, when the two lines cross, we exit. And you saw there just for a split second, Jeremy, do you see where it showed that little arrow? Just for a split second, because it started there, but it didn't close. Boom. So we exit, right? And in case we don't know what to do when we get that signal, it tells us right here. Let me see if I can separate it. Exit long, enter short, right? So we could exit a nice position if we held it that long. Obviously, anywhere up here, anywhere in the all-time highs would be a nice, decent place to exit. Now think about this, guys. We give you 3 strategies, the 10 EMA, the Momo, and I'll talk about the naked puts here in just a second. But we're giving you 3 strategies that work well. This one does long and short. This is a kind of a short-term trend following, right? And so in this case, you guys can see that we are switching. So what we would do is when we exited, we'd go ahead and buy a put right here at the close. This is what, and you'll see that this red shaded area is, you guys see that? Red shade, and we're going to stay in it. So at this point, we're going to be upside down a little bit, right? We're going to stay in the trade until it tells us to switch. And you see that the moving averages, Jeremy, you see that they almost cross, almost.
Yep.
Now, what's the significance, Jeremy, of a 78-minute chart? It's kind of weird. It's kind of odd.
It's odd, but it gives you like an hourly chart. So the market's not open an exact amount of hours. So it's not like 7 hours precisely. There's a half hour in there. So this allows you to have a precise amount of time per day per candles.
Right. And the other thing that's cool is you have 5 candles per day. Is that correct, Jeremy? So 5 candles times 78 minutes is 6.5 hours, which is the length of time.
Yep.
That is a terrible 6.5, but you guys. And so at this point, our moving averages almost crossed. They did, but they didn't close that way. And our strategy says, hey, you need to close before we make a decision on what to do. And this strategy, that's exactly what it does. And so we're probably going to be chopping around a little bit, and we're either going to head lower or we're going to head higher. And depending on what happens, the strategy kind of reacts, right? Now we do have someone who, Jonathan Wage, I'm not sure if he's in the room today, but reach out and say hello, Jonathan. We have someone who's actually we have several people who are taking this exact strategy and they're automating it. So Jonathan has built his own custom tool that works with Alpaca. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Alpaca. Alpaca is one of the, he actually has like a custom integration that he built, but Alpaca is it's kind of like a Robinhood, but for programmers. So programmers can connect and build their own integration. So when you guys manually go into Thinkorswim and hit a button and send an order, that's like a user interface you're interacting with. But a programmer has like a handshake kind of protocol API that they use to send orders to. And so he actually built he went live with it today. He and I have been chatting about it. It's coming along really, really well. And I believe Frank Cole and a few other people are working on building this out in Sierra Charts. I'm not sure what broker they use for that, if it's Interactive Brokers. Jeremy, do you know Sierra Charts? Robert, does anyone know what broker that is? But again, these are all things that are super exciting on the horizon in the future. Imagine you guys having an algorithm that takes trades long and short while you're at work, right? Now, there's advantages and disadvantages to algo trading. One of the advantages is it's impossible to be emotional as long as you let it play out, right? You can't overreact. You can't FOMO. Like these bots, the computer code, the way it runs, it's going to do its same thing over and over and over and consistent like a machine, right? But imagine having some of these bots set up early next year and some of these strategies that can make some R's for us, whether it's futures and whether we're sleeping. I mean, imagine, I want you guys to see that the future is bright, right? It may look a little cloudy, partly cloudy, a little bit rainy, a little bit stormy right now, but it doesn't have to be that way. Now, as you notice in our strategy, as we take more candles, you see it's kind of heading lower. Now, again, we got this red area that's shaded, which tells us to be bullish or bearish, guys. Bearish. So we can either short with shares. In Shopify, because it's pricey, I would just do put options. So I would buy put options, and as you saw between here and here, we would be kind of red. And here we go back to probably like a break even. We're up just a little bit, and we let the strategy play out. Now, no one actually knows. Obviously, you can't be a perma bear in a kind of a bull market. You can't hold these counter trend trades where it's going opposite. The overall market overall is like an escalator going up, and there's small moments of time where you can have counter trend trades, but there's no reason to hang on that forever. You don't want to be on that train forever. I literally knew people who shorted. You guys remember back, if we roll back time a little bit to the 2016 presidential election, you remember that, Jeremy? And we all know who was expected to win. And I knew people who shorted the market hundreds of thousands of dollars and held it for a good year, because they felt that they were right, and it turned into, I want to say, millions of dollars of losses because they were counter trend and the market was going higher. You guys all know the story. You know what happened with the market after the US elections back in 2016, rocketed higher, and people are short, and they got squeezed. They got squeezed royally. We'll just say lots of zeros on the end of that mistake. But again, all that to say is that when you're counter trend, you don't want to hold it for a super, super long period of time. Even COVID, guys, that was, if we were to look at COVID on like a, let me see if I can duplicate this so I can come back to it. But even COVID, if you look at the stock market, it was a month or two event. It was not a permanent thing, right? Let's take a look at SPY. Yeah, see? So it wasn't, you can't hold this down forever, right? It's counter trend, is going the opposite, right? And you'll see our little 10 EMA indicators saying, hey, buy at the close, buy at the close, buy at the close. Again, guys, we can teach these classes all day, every day, unless you guys take action. buy at the close, buy at the close, buy at the close. And these obviously are daily charts. So if you're a swing trader, this is perfect. Now, of course, some of these last two ones didn't work, but look at how many would have worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of them would have worked. 2 of them didn't, right?
Yep.
No one's going to cry for us when we lose 2R over here. When we made 9R here, we'd still be up. Probably even more than 7R total.
Yep. And I'll say this too, just to keep in mind, you can also go back, ladies and gentlemen, and back trade the other election. You can also back trade markets when they go sideways and just see what results, what those results look like. Draw your support and resistance levels. Figure out if you should use smaller term time frames, because in choppy sideways markets, it's best to use shorter term time frames than daily charts, because by the time moving averages cross on the daily chart, it potentially can be too late. So the 78-minute chart can work great for choppy markets. And again, you can use other strategies when it's at support, right? You could also use these strategies on all different types of time frames, team. So it just all comes down to understanding what you're looking for.
So let me grab let's do this, Jeremy. A little bit different than the normal afternoon room. Let's grab an audience member randomly, and let's see. Angela, are you there? I unmuted you if you want to come on for a second. So as you guys know, Angela has her own indicator, ladies and gentlemen.
The queen, she's here.
Yep, there's only one trader who has their own indicator named after her. Ladies and gentlemen, the cooking diva, Angela.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. I can hear you fine.
Loud and clear.
Okay, what's the questions? I'll answer questions.
Tell us about, so we talked about Momo a week ago. You,
yes,
like a brilliant trader, decided to paper trade it back, trade it in real time with a paper trading account.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us your thoughts so far.
Well, first and foremost, I trade every new strategy in my paper trading account. And I was taking this month off anyway, so it was just perfect timing for me to do that. My thoughts so far is I think it's a great strategy. I think it takes a lot of time getting to know it. It's not something that you just go live with it and start trading in it, because there's some things you have to learn on the way. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I've learned is to check the daily. And I'm not, with my other strategies that I've used, my own strategies, I never had to check the daily. So that's been my nemesis. I fail to check the daily to see if it's going sideways. Don't get into something sideways, for sure. Sideways with a big channel of good lows and highs, maybe. But that channel is going to eventually even out, and you're going to get royally screwed. Right. That's what I've noticed.
Okay, and so you've traded this. How many? I saw your post earlier. I don't remember off the top of my head. I can go back and find it. But you said that you traded, was it 5 or 6 things in Momo? Do you remember?
8 trades.
Okay.
8 trades. And I'm up 11.72 Rs.
Okay, can you walk us through those real quick? Do you remember?
Sure. Teladoc. Okay. It was a call.
Okay. And when did you get in that? Sometime in.
Okay, I knew you're going to ask me this. I'd have to get my own trading view up. But it's what's that arrow right there that you're on right now?
October 27th. Yep. So that was.
Okay, that'd be the one. Yeah.
Okay. So
okay.
You bought at the close, kind of right there, right?
Yes.
Or somewhere in there, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm learning that it's all right to get when that arrow first starts. But, as you know, I'm a buy low, sell high person, right? Yep. So this strategy is actually bothering me a bit, because I feel like I'm getting in late to the party, right?
Ooh, yes. Yep.
Okay. So I probably got in a little bit lower than that, but anyways, I made an R on that.
Okay. So you exited up here somewhere. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So I've been exiting before it goes into the next, before it tells you to go low, to change.
Okay. Yep. So down this big candle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Then I did SPY. That was a good one.
SPY. Ooh, that was a short one, I believe, right?
No, I got in a short. Yep, it was short. And up there where it says exit long, way up there. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you got it there, right there. Or maybe I got in before that. What date is that?
That was October 23rd.
That was the first one I got into. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I stayed in it for 8.5 hours.
Dang, look at this.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
8.5 R. Now, how many of you guys would like to have 8.5 R added to your October? Yes, please. Right? It's like pull up to the second window, please.
That one surprised me because I'll be really honest with you. I'm not a big bear trader.
Yep. And you did.
But
when I have something, put options?
When I have something that tells me to do it, I'm a big plan trader, right?
Yeah, it's like systematic, right? You have a system that you're executing.
Exactly. Right. So it said go short, and I thought, well, I'm going short, right? And that was yeah, that was good.
And then I got into. Did you use options or did you
always options?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you bought puts.
This is a great strategy for using options, right? Because you are actually in and out of the trades. That was a 3-day trade, I think. That one.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep, that actually makes sense because you had let's see, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles there. This is day 2, and then this is day 3, like right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you had a little pop, a little bit of the bulls are fighting back, and they kind of rolled over a little bit lower.
Yeah. Right? I think I got out that third circle when it popped. Yeah, about there. That's where I would have got out.
Gotcha. Right in here. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done, Angela.
So
okay. What was your next?
Disney. Okay. So same with Disney. I pretty well got in about the same time as SPY. Yeah, right around there. Yeah. Yep. And I made 3R on that.
Whew. Look at this. Man. And now, Angela, do you trade full time? You do other things? I know you have.
I don't like trading full time. I like to trade in the morning, and get out and about by 9 o'clock.
So what is that? Is that
9 a.m.? So that's 12 your time, Eastern time.
Okay, so what is that, like 2.5 hours in the morning kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This is going to be really good strategy for me, Matt, when I go live, because most of the trades come at around 7:48. That's the first 78-minute candle, right?
Yep.
And that's like today I got alerted for 3 trades, right, at 7:48, driving my husband crazy because I use my cell phone timer, right?
Yeah, you beep.
For 7:48 and then 9:06, right?
Right.
Yep. And everything's beeping and everything's going on.
I love that though, Angela. How amazing is that? You get 5 alerts all day, right? And maybe you only pay attention to the first 2 or 3, right?
That's correct.
And ladies and gentlemen, what Angela is referring to is because of the 78-minute chart here. In my chart happens to be in Central Time Zone. She's talking about the 78 minutes. So in our case, the market opens in Central Time Zone, 8:30, 9:30 Eastern. And so you add 78 minutes, the next candle would be at 9:48, right? And then the next one would be what, 11:06. Now, obviously, Angela's adjusting it to her time zone. She's in a different time zone. So she's playing like the first, what do you say, 3 or 4 candles, really?
I have got alerts set on my phone for all day. So I just keep them and I put them on when I want them, right? So I'm finding that the first one is the best one. The 9:48 is by far the best one. Yeah.
9:48. Nice. So a little bit after open, right? A little over an hour into the market, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't worry about getting up at 6:30 in the morning anymore.
I love that.
I know. It's great. It's great. I love it.
So so it sounds like that obviously was a swing trade, which is kind of what the strategy was designed for, but you kind of you have intraday orders that just turn into swing, or they're designed to be swing trades, right?
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent, Angela. That's amazing. So on Disney, how did you fare? How did Disney turn out?
3R.
3R. Is there anything that you're not amazing at, Angela?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. I can attest. Nothing.
Well, you know, I said something today to one of the traders. I said, I'm very lucky to be a very intuitive trader. And I just have this knack for knowing when to get out. I
Yep.
don't have a knack of knowing when to get in.
But this
And
kind of
this-
fills that, yeah.
This fills that gap. So heaven knows what I'm going to be making now. Just, you know, because now I've got an entry point here. Yeah,
Right. So now we can expect 100R months in your near future, right?
correct.
Yeah, nice. Amazing.
Yeah.
So far, just these 3 trades, it looks like you're up 12.5R, but we're not done. We have a few more, right?
Well, are you going to do them all or?
Yeah, let's
Ken,
do
you
them
want-
all.
okay.
Let's take a
Neo,
look.
I got into Neo.
NIO, yep.
Yeah. Okay, I got it in there and then there in the bottom, right there. Yeah.
Okay.
I made 1.5 hour on that.
Okay, so you exited what, the very next day, maybe something like
Maybe
somewhere in this
I
spot?
don't know where I exited. Yeah. Near the top.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it was the next day. It wasn't the same day, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and what'd you say that was 1.5 hour?
1.5 hour. Probably I exited then at the black candle at the bottom of the black candle
Okay, so
when it
right
came
here.
down to the
Yeah,
when it
nice.
came down.
Normally, what I do, Matt, when I'm trying to figure out where Angela exited, is I go to the exact high of the day and I subtract 2 pennies. It's easier for me just to do it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
Now,
then the
Angela,
one-
you enjoy camping, you enjoy other hobbies where, or you mentioned that you don't like to be a full-time trader. Most of us, Jeremy, myself, Robert, we have other things that we do that keep us busy. For me, I have other things that keep me away from sabotaging myself in my trades. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this, I spend time on other things. So I don't do those, you know, as long as I'm really distracted, things usually work out really, really well. Right. So you do
Right.
other things too, right, Angela?
Yeah.
You enjoy
we
camping.
we do camping and canoeing and kayaking and hiking and
Yeah.
all sorts of different things. And we like to be outdoors. And
Right, and that-
Victoria is a perfect place for that.
Yeah, and that's the real life part of real life trading, right? I see some of the pictures, your kayak, your canoeing, you're going on these trail walks, right? Amazing. Okay. Neo 1.5R. Good. What's next?
Okay, so then I got into an Apple trade, and I think that was today.
They didn't all work out, I know, right?
No,
Some of
the
them.
Apple didn't work out.
Nope.
So I got into Apple long.
So probably right here. Yep.
Okay,
Was that at the end of the day?
that was at the end of the day. Yeah,
Yep. Okay.
and I lost right away in the morning. So I
So-
lost 1.2 R.
Okay.
Okay. Then I got into Facebook long.
I'm gonna keep keeping notes on this, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you should be taking notes, listening to Angela here. Okay, what else? Facebook.
I got into long.
I'm taking notes.
Yesterday.
Okay,
At 9:09, I even put the time down. I'm so
so
sorry.
right here probably.
Yeah.
Okay,
And and you can see what happened there.
yeah. And so what did you? How'd you end up, like down one or two?
Oh, not even down a quarter of an hour.
Okay.
So, and then I got into Baba short this morning.
Okay.
And I'll give you a little bit of love, Angela, for just a second. So again, team, remember what she's doing is those 2 trades are huge on both Facebook and Apple. She's sharing her losses. Keep in mind when the trade doesn't look like it works or it's just doing its thing, she'll just get out immediately. I don't like it anymore. I'm out. Done. It changed, direction changed, gap changed. I'm out. I'm taking my loss. Moving on.
Right. It's like you're dating. You're not married, right? You just say, okay, no, thank you. We're done. Right.
Yeah. And yes, that's what I do. And sometimes you guys ask me to be a mentor or whatever. It's really hard to explain what I do. Like, so that's why I've backed away from doing that, because it's just like, I just seem to know when to get out. I don't ask me out. I don't know.
You got some special skills. We get it.
Okay, so I got into Baba short today, and this one
Okay. So you
pissed me
entered
off,
here.
actually. Yeah. Okay. No, I entered at the top there.
Up here?
where it says, yeah,
Okay. Right here?
yes, yes, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the story about that one. I ended up losing a third of an hour, but I didn't get out in time. See, I could have made, I was up, that candle itself is about 3 hour, I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, you mean so you got in at the good time and you kind of rode it down to the low
Mhm.
and kind of gave back some of your gains during this move? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, where did I get in on that one? Oh, maybe. See, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
Sure, no worries.
Anyways, I ended up losing on that trade. So I
Okay.
must have got in too late,
Okay, yeah.
right?
So yeah, so like typically the strategy would say at the close would be here, which
Mhm.
you guys see you would be profitable for a little bit before you kind of went up and closed kind of at this level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's probably what happened. I think I got the alert late, and that's when I messaged you. I said, "Is there any way of it being alerting me when the text comes out?"
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Right.
All right. That's fine.
So
And then
you have the ability now to trade fully on your cell phone. Is that right? Or you're kind of quasi cell phone only?
no, I can't trade on my cell phone.
Not yet. You get the
I have-
alerts on your phone, rather. Sorry.
I'm getting the alerts on TradingView now on my cell phone.
Right.
Um, but I'm trying to learn if anybody can teach me how to trade on my phone with IB, I'd appreciate it. But anyways, I've been trying to open up. You see, when you open up your IB on your phone, the other one closes, right, on your computer.
Oh, yep. Yep. It's got that
Yeah.
login. Yep. That's right.
So I treat my paper trading account just like my live account.
Oh yeah.
When I lose, I feel like I've lost, and when I've won, I feel like I've won. Like it's just so I can't. It's hard to do that.
Yep.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's probably the best way to do it, because I know when I first started like with paper trading, I would be down a lot and I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll just hit the reset button. That's not a healthy way to approach it. You need to get the emotions and absorb what it's really like if you're down 2 or 3 or 4 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So that's all the trades that I took a Netflix trade as well. So
But wait, there's more.
there's just the Netflix, yeah.
Okay.
And I took it short.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And again, somehow I got into it too late. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you end up on that one?
Down a fifth of an hour. No, yeah. I guess I must have got in down there, right? And then it came down to the bottom there and then started going up. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I tried.
Amazing.
I've
Thank
tried
you.
the first day to wait for it to come back up and tell me to get out,
Right.
but that wasn't working.
Gotcha.
You make more profits if you get out when I think I should be out. This is hard to explain.
Well, that's part of the, like you mentioned, you have a hard time knowing when to get in, and this kind of
Mhm.
helps you figure that out. But the other thing is trend following, like I mentioned, is you kind of late to the party, and then you kind of overstay the welcome a little bit. It's kind of like a little bit delayed. So if you can get out earlier than it says, even better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Angela. Ladies and gentlemen, round of
you.
applause for Angela.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Beautiful. And the more you know about a company, ladies and gentlemen, the longer you can hold, the more you've traded it, the better you feel about it. And if you have a lot of experience, I mean, keep in mind, Angela didn't just show up one day and poof, she makes money. Like she spent 3 years grinding and asking questions every day and every week and just really, really, really putting in the time and the effort and the energy. And so once you realize that you can exit trades intuitively, you can hold trades intuitively, you can do whatever you want. But the big, big, big key that you'll notice in Angela's description, she exited her losers early and she would hold on to her winners for some profits. And if she wanted to exit a profit early, she would do that too. But then whatever trade that she took, she just does not lose more than that gain.
Right. So I actually added up her Angela, I kind of wrote down a rough, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you made 14R on 4 trades, wins. So you won half and lost half, but you made 14 Rs on the wins and you lost 2 Rs on collectively on the losses. So again, still up 12 R and change. So amazing. Yep.
Great work.
Amazing. So someone asked a question, Pablito, when using Momo, you suggest to use at the money options and a close expiration. I wonder how Angela did it, but I typically would do like a 30-day option because some of these can play out for 30 to 45 days. So I typically would do a 30-day option with a little bit out of the money. So maybe like a 40 delta, a 0.4 if we're talking about call options. That's typically what I would do. Yep. And guys, you can also play long only, like you only take the long. So in this case, when you see a short, you're waiting for it to kind of turn around and the winds of change to cross, right? Your moving averages cross and go higher. So if you're just long only, nothing wrong with that. Obviously you're aligned with the overall market, the escalator up. Yep. Okay. Cool, gang. Amazing.
Yep. Love it. Love it. Well, team, here's the goal. The goal of all this again is to have a plan, execute that plan. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let mediocrity hold you back. Remember, this is your life. So if you don't like your job, quit it. Go get another one. There's other jobs. There's other ways to make money. There's other ways to grow.
Absolutely. So do you guys want to, Jeremy, should we collect the tickers for next, it would be Merchant Monday?
For Monday, I already have the tickers because I'll be doing a scanner on Monday and Tuesday. So
Gotcha.
I'll be locked and loaded. But team, a really good video coming out this weekend about talking about my predictions about the elections coming up. Post your results in October. Win, loss, draw, win or gain. You're not bragging. If you win money, congratulations. If you lost money, you never, ever, ever will be worse than I was. So whatever amount of money you lost, I have done much worse. So share it, grow from it, and most importantly, learn from it. If you made a mistake, if you know what the mistake is, pick one of those mistakes that you can slowly do better than in November. And let's remember that November is going to be a phenomenal month, amazing opportunities, and let's enrich lives together, my friends. So thank you all for being here. I will see you Monday. I'll have a list of stocks ready for you when I do my scan. And until then, live life, and trade it. You guys rock.
Thanks. Have a good weekend, y'all.
Have a good weekend, everyone.